Okay, this is another follow-up. Just finished watching that Washington and USC game, and man, that was fun to watch. I like seeing games not being so high scoring. But I wanted to talk about why USC won and why Washington lost. So this is going to be some quick hitters, not really much into depth, but I did get a lot of viewage of the game, so I want to kind of share that. What I noticed that USC actually didn't get a lot of pressure on Washington. They ended the game with 3 sacks and kind of hit them a few times. But their defensive line itself did not really uh, disrupt the Washington O line. As a matter of fact, Washington O line had created a lot of pockets for Jake Browning. The time that there was pressure was Port Augustine, number 45 for USC, was able to just abuse the tackles, the right tackle and the left tackle of Washington, and he was the one that was able to get the sacks on Jake Browning and to cause him to run around a bit. But if you notice, every time the USC defensive line in the middle could not get much push and couldn't really get into the face of Jake Browning a lot. And he had a clean pocket. His issue was that he had happy feet and he didn't throw the ball well. I It's crazy the amount of times that I saw Jake Browning miss passes down the field or made his receivers wait on the ball or threw it in a way where the receivers couldn't run after the catch and get the amount of yards that they needed to get. Even on some of his completed passes, they could have been thrown better. And really, it comes down to his mechanics. I made a tweet about that. His mechanics are kind of wonky. He lunges his arm when he throws the ball, and that just makes the receiver wait a little bit longer. The ball takes an extra second, and he just made mistakes like that the whole game. I count 3 passes where McClatcher, number 6, he was behind USC's defenders, and Browning just overthrew him. Ball went way too far ahead. Ball was too high. It's because he's missing these guys. Even toward the end of the game, you saw another one. Even the pass where McClatcher caught the ball, McClatcher had to turn around and catch the ball going to his right, and then spin back around and run down the field. If he had caught that in stride, that probably would have been a touchdown. Also, I saw him miss Daniels down the middle seam. He threw the ball too far. Daniels had to lay out for it, and Daniels couldn't pull it in. I think, yeah, Daniels was number 15. Jake Browning missed him down the field. The only time I saw Jake Browning really hit receivers down the field was when they were wide open, and that was John Ross on the play where he made a Dory Jackson fall back, which was a great route, by the way. But Jake Browning struggled, struggled throwing the ball down the field. And me being an Alabama fan, I thought Jalen Hurts had trouble throwing the ball down the field sometimes, but Jake Browning did a horrible job of hitting his receivers where they need to be hit. And let's not even mention the interception that he threw to Adoree Jackson when he threw the ball across his body. So first of all, you've already got a slow, lunging throwing motion. But you're going to add on a throw across your body, across the field. Not only is it a throw across your body, across the field, but it's a throw across your body, across the field to the fastest cornerback possibly. Might be pretty much the fastest cornerback in the nation. Gave him plenty of time to break on the ball, and he did and caught the interception. And so they made a lot of mistakes. They couldn't really run the ball that much. They had some success early in the game, but they got away from it because USC had gotten up, and so they really couldn't run the ball anymore. And so they needed Jake Browning to make the throws that he needed to make that team successful. Honestly, if Jake Browning had just hit a couple of those throws, they probably would have won this game because he had guys running open. The announcers and the commentators gave USC a lot of credit for their defense, but in reality, they didn't do that much to disrupt Jake Browning. They let Jake Browning destroy himself. Like I said, there were plenty of times where the receivers were open. He just missed them. And you can go back and look at the tape on that. It was something else I wanted to say too. It was crazy to watch. I think USC was just content playing back and letting Jake Browning attempt to beat them. And he did not. And so USC did a great job. Also, I know to Sam Darnold, he's a gamer. He's a good player. He can make some accurate throws at times, sets his feet up. He has a weird throwing motion too, but he gets the ball to where it needs to be. I also noticed that USC's offensive line, they made Washington's. Oh yeah, that's another issue. Washington's defensive line was atrocious. They did not rush the passer at all. USC's offensive line held them in bay the whole game. The only time Washington got pressure was when they sent the blitz a few times. But other than that, their defensive line for Washington, I don't know how people thought they were going to make it to the playoffs with that pass rush, but it's not going to happen. You're not going to beat teams like Alabama like that. And they were down their two best linebackers, pass rushing specialists, and their middle linebacker. So that probably contributed to their lack of pass rush. But their secondary also was missing assignments and blowing assignments the whole game too. So they just had issues all the way around. And USC just let them self-destruct, and USC won the game. It's just that simple. Well, thanks for paying attention. I do this all the time. I make analysis on games videos, specifically Alabama, since they're my favorite team and I get to see them the most. But every once in a while, I'll come in and pop on another team. So thanks for listening. If you made it this far, please tune in to my other videos on my YouTube channel.